And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, other than having to listen to that earlier, but...
Well, you chose it.
I did. It just happened. Well, or does it choose me? I don't know which, but it just kind of happens. But, of course, you guys been busy? Keep going and
Absolutely.
just keeping things going.
Lots of
and busy.
good things, helping the community out. Last night was National Night Out over at the Civic Center parking lot.
Nice.
And that was a huge success.
Good deal.
Yeah. It was
Excellent.
really cool.
So
Walked
they had
around.
the fire department, the police department, everybody out there.
Everybody
doing their
was
thing.
out there. They had, their helicopters. The kids got to walk through the SWAT team vehicles.
Oh, cool.
They had a hot dog eating contest with all of the firefighters and RPD and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Jump houses. I mean, it was really cool to see the community come out and support our local firefighters and EMTs and all of that, as well as there was a backpack giveaway. And between National Night Out and all of these other organizations around town, if you are in need of a backpack and school supplies, there is no excuse for you not to have one, because all of these organizations this year have really pulled together to make sure that all of these kids are prepared to go back to school this week.
I know. Let's see, the three I can think of right off the top of my head. Of course, Roswell Honda gave away a bunch on Saturday. The Health Council will be giving away a bunch this Saturday out at the health fair. And like you said, the National Night Out was doing the thing. And I've seen a couple others, too, the churches and things that are doing that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there is a lot of help out there for folks in need.
It's really heartwarming to see how the community has come together.
Matter of factly, if you're looking for something like that, don't hesitate. Call the chamber and say, I'm looking for that, and they'll be happy to give you some information on some of those.
That's our job, is to push the information out whichever way we can.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's good. And, of course, now, like I was saying earlier, parents are probably just walking around their day-to-day with a little skip in their step as they're happy for all the kids going back.
It's crazy. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning is the day.
Yeah.
And, of course, I've been waking my kids up early all week in preparation, and they have to be up for at least 2 hours before they go to bed, go back to sleep for the rest of the day, because I'm like, Thursday, you don't get to go back to sleep.
That's right.
You got to get up and get going.
Your day. So do they watch TV for 2 hours and then go nap, or is that, or
we give them chores?
Oh, good work.
Yeah,
good.
they got to go. Feed the dogs, the chickens, get their laundry done, make their beds.
Nice.
Things like that. So they're ready for tomorrow.
Good deal. So, someone's going to ask related to school, and I can't remember what it was. Oh well, there was something there I had, but it just shot out my head. Of course, when we talk on this back to school and all that, if you have any questions about any of that stuff, obviously talk to your teachers and things. But when it comes to the other stuff, like tax-free weekend, is
this weekend.
Is
Friday.
it this weekend?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So, which I know is a little tricky for some, because last year they did it too, but this is like 2 years in a row now where the tax-free weekend is after school started.
Well, that's where I personally like it, because I have older kids. So they go to school for the first 2 days.
Right.
They get their syllabus and their school supply list, because, since COVID, each teacher is different, and we don't have to go get, the mass Kleenexes, Clorox wipes, things like that. I still do. And I tell all of our teachers, just call me, just text me, let me know what you need.
Right.
And throughout the year, because I was never really that parent that brought all of that first day, because I knew you'd get an influx.
Sure.
Teachers get an influx of that first couple of weeks of school.
And then 2 months in, they're out.
But by November, when you really need Kleenex, you have none. So I'm like, call me. I'll go to Sam's Club, make a huge Sam's Club run, and I'll bring you, a gross of Kleenex and Clorox wipes.
Here's a pallet of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's I remember, like, back when the early days of my wife teaching. And, of course, even back then, they'd always make the kids bring, like, a box of Kleenex.
Yep.
And usually a thing of pencils or something. I don't remember what it was. Or some Lysol.
Yep. It was
wipes or something
usually
like
things
that.
like that.
Yeah. And, but I remember, like, in her early years, either parents were more generous then, or we didn't use as much, because it seemed like at the end of her year there was always a stack of Kleenex boxes sitting up in the top there, and these 3 or 4 of those Lysol thing. Now that doesn't happen, but it seemed like back then either people were giving more, or she always had 100 pounds of that stuff. But
yeah, I'm definitely that parent. I go to Sam's Club and, 4 teachers, because I have 4 kids, and they'd be like, we need Kleenex. So I'd get 4 of the big cases of Kleenex, and I'd be like, here you go.
There you go. Kleenex away.
That's right.
But yes, that is this week. But yeah, tax-free weekend. So take advantage of that.
That's right.
Getting, your back to school stuff, but the other things as well, check deals, because I think electronics fall under the tax-free.
Computers, backpacks, of course, all of your normal school supplies.
Yeah.
And if I can remember
Clothing.
correctly, certain clothing qualifies. And, I've got older kids, so it makes a big difference, especially with one kid going to college in a couple of weeks. Oh, that's nerve-wracking. And we've had to buy, brand new computer for the kids. So he's got his desktop set up, but he wanted a laptop so he can go to class and everything is seamless, because you can't take your desktop to class.
Well, you could, but people look at you funny.
Right. Hang on,
got to plug in.
Got it set up. Hang on.
I got to run a Wi-Fi cable. Internet cable. Can I run it all over?
Where's the Ethernet cord? So, it was that kind of stuff. And then, of course, my next oldest child is getting ready to take college courses as well. So we're trying to figure out what best works for her.
Okay. How's things at NIMI from the parent perspective there?
It was awesome. That's where my son graduated, and we absolutely loved it. But of course, my son's 4th generation graduating from the institute.
So do you have anybody at the institute now, or do you
No,
graduate?
not right now.
Okay. I was just wondering how their school year's starting.
My 2 middles are in dance, so they don't want to go to NIMI because they can't go off campus for any of that stuff. But our youngest is seriously thinking about going. So in about 2 years, we'll have another one.
Might be back.
But we're in, constant contact with NIMI because, first of all, my family is very involved over there. And, of course, at the chamber, we're involved. So school starts the same time for the Institute that it starts for RISD, and the general and commandant and superintendent have done that on purpose because they know they do have a large local portion of kids that attend, and so that way the kids can all be off.
Kind of works best in their schedule. Yeah, good deal. So so I imagine they'll get the influx is there now, but although it doesn't seem like I'm not seeing all the cadets everywhere yet. So I guess they're all in rat week.
Because matriculation is this week.
Gotcha.
So you'll start seeing all those kids come in.
Good deal. And then, of course, they do their rat weeks and those kind of things. And when that's going on, you're not going to see a lot of the cadets off campus because they're all busy doing the rat week
you'll
stuff.
see red hats all over the place.
That's right. It's kind of like their basic training for the kids there, for the first year.
And then September, October, they'll have Parents Weekend, and then they'll be able to get off campus in limited amounts for the rats. And then, of course, the older kids have more freedom.
Do they make them? My brother went to the SUNY Maritime Academy, which is basically like the Merchant Marine Academy for the state of New York.
Okay.
Up there, but it's a military college, and of course he went through his. I think they called it plebe week or something, but same thing. And but like that first year as a student there, like he couldn't just like normally walk to classes.
Nope,
he had
you
to
got
march.
Square corners.
Yeah, square corners, all that stuff.
Yep.
So they make them do all that?
They have to run certain areas. Oh,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I didn't know if they did it. And that's like their first year, right? Or first semester?
First semester.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I was wondering if they did all that.
You know, my brother went and graduated in 2000, and then watching my son, and it's hilarious to watch these different generations. Oh, that's not fair. When I went, I had to do this for a year. I was a rat for a year, and Garrett was only a rat for a semester.
It's always 10 times worse, yeah. It's no different than when I was a kid, I had to walk to school 10 miles uphill both ways. Same,
absolutely.
Same line of thought.
Absolutely. My uncles, and then, of course, other friends and stuff that went in the 90s and in the 80s. It's hilarious to see how it has changed.
Sure.
Because, of course, back in the 80s, for example, they did have hazing and things like that. And so to hear some of the stories and then hear from my brother and hear from my son, that my son's like, oh, if you did that, oh my gosh, you'd get kicked out.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure if I told my stories from basic, it'd probably way different than someone else's stories from basic.
Oh, yeah. My husband was a Marine, and I've heard some of his stories, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's real? And he's like, we were Marines.
Yeah.
Like, that's
what you
we do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different mindset and interesting. But, yeah, I was wondering about that. So all that's going on. As far as events and things, what's stuff we want to put on people's
you kind of touched on a couple of things. We've got the Health Expo that opens up at 8 a.m. at the Civic Center on the 6th. So that's Saturday. We're hoping to get a couple of our redcoats out there to do a big ribbon cutting and say, all right, woo!
Come on out to the health fair.
Of course, we also have another cap sorting. August 13th. At Hawks Automotive. We partner with Main Street Roswell as a collection site. Yes. They're trying to get another 6,000 pounds, which equates to 30 more benches.
Nice.
So they had started this campaign and thought they would get just a handful of benches, but because it has been so popular, they're like, we're going to just keep sorting caps until we have benches on every corner.
It's a great idea.
Everywhere in town that somebody wants a bench.
Yeah. To me, it's a great idea because it checks every single box.
Yes.
It provides a better product than was originally there. It does it in a cleaner, more efficient way. And it gets the community involved in your recycling and doing all the green stuff.
It's fantastic. In fact, if you come to the chamber to drop off your caps, our front portico area is pretty full with caps because in the last few days they've just kind of shown up. So I got to get my husband. Hey, by the way, husband, you're on notice. I'm going to need the truck.
Is that a Marine thing? You about to do some Marine things for me.
Oh, by the way. So those are the first two things. And then, of course, with the Historical Society, their Trip Down Memory Lane drive-through fundraiser.
Yeah.
You need to RSVP your meals by next week.
I think it's the
8th.
8th.
Yep. So that's next week because they need enough time for Peppers to create however many meals they need.
And we really, I know everyone's like, I'll extend the deadline. I'm not going to lie. We probably will, but we don't want to.
You don't want to get any closer than you have to because, Adam and Neil and the guys over at Peppers do need the time to order that food.
And it's like for instance, this Saturday, the Community Little Theater's got their Curtains Rising event out at the Clarion. Today, they extended the deadline, but today is the absolute drop-dead deadline to RSVP for that. If you go to roswelltheater.com, THEATRE.com, you can go and get your tickets. But today's the last day for that.
And that's going to be like a murder mystery, like interactive murder mystery.
And Peppers is doing their chicken arpois or pot roast choice dinner, and it's 60 or 65, I don't remember off the top of my head, for tickets. I heard they still have sponsor table or two available. That seats 8. You can get that as well.
And I'm sure those will go pretty quick today.
Yeah. But today's it. This is they got it. They can't extend it anymore.
Yeah. That's going to be a really cool event because I love that kind of stuff where it's interactive.
Yeah.
Because as the audience, you get to dress up in a costume if you so choose of a character of your liking, and then you get to be part of that experience. If you think you know who did it,
right,
then I believe you write it down and you put it in a box, and then they'll draw
from the correct
correct answers, and you could win, I believe, a set of tickets
to a future show.
Yeah. So it's really cool, and of course it's their big fundraiser, so they can continue to make their upgrades to their building and provide really awesome shows.
Yeah, that roof they've been having issues with for years. They're trying to raise the funds to just outright replace it. So
I understand roofs. Roofs are awful.
And I know to replace the roof on my house is not cheap. I can imagine a building the size of the community theater. Yeah. That's a probably very expensive
I'm sure
operation.
It's akin to what we paid for our roof a year and a half ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And although they probably have a few more acreage. I don't know if it's by the acre or what they get base it on, but I think there's a lot more roof over at that building. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'll have to go drive past there when I drop my kids off for dance this afternoon.
Because that building's huge, actually. You don't realize because it used to be a Park Twin Theater.
That's right.
Theater. And like the theater you sit in, was one of the theaters.
And backstage is the other theater.
And it's and it's huge. Like if you all ever get a chance, get a tour, because once you go behind the house, they've got giant rooms filled with props and costuming and all this things that they've collected. And of course they have their offices and everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot more rooms in that building than people realize when you're there. So yeah, it's a cool building. But anyway, they need money for the roof, so please
help them out. And of course, Historical Society is also doing their CAPS, the Living Theater with the kids.
Yeah.
That's September 17th. They are going to be highlighting the local legends. Mm-hmm. And of course, once again, the fundraiser for...
Is that the one at the cemetery? Is that the one?
That's the one. Well, this one says it's at the Historical Society.
Okay, that's
on
the
17th.
Historical Society one. I apologize. All right, that's
that's the one Amy got me.
Yeah, that's the one at the Historical Society. They also do during the year a version out at South Park Cemetery.
Yeah, and I haven't received any information from Amy.
I didn't know
if
that's the one we were in. And now that you said, the Historical Society.
Yeah, and of course, the fundraiser, the drive-through fundraiser, is celebrating all of the Heritage Dinner recipients from the past 40 years. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing all of that.
Yeah, and hopefully we can maybe even get a chance, because we're going to try to probably maybe interview some of the past recipients here around that time.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
We're going to try to. We'll see how many are available, and I mean, we got the more recent ones are pretty easy, but I'm going to dig down into maybe some of the ones from 25,
absolutely,
30 years
25,
ago.
30 years ago, who's still around, because I'd love to see, what what
they're up to now.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, where are they now?
Right.
But so but more to come on that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, the next thing we've got going on, the Generals Cup.
Yes.
Golf tournament is coming up in September.
Anybody famous coming out this time?
I haven't seen anything on my.
Because I'm just saying, NFL players show up to this thing.
But you never know. There's still a little over a month.
Yeah.
So there could be a surprise.
Thanks to her father, I got to interview Mark Rippon, and to this day, it's still one of the highlights of my radio career.
Well, my son got to hang out with him.
Yeah.
The other day, he called us. He's up there hanging out with Dad in Coeur d'Alene. He was like, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you." And all the people that Dad gets to hang out with, it's. Because he's still my dad and I'm still a kid. And in my mind, I'm still 15, 16 years old. And when I hear that he's doing different stuff, I'm like, oh, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. You live vicariously.
Oh, absolutely. But he's earned it. When you've worked for 50, 60 years and created the life, then go be king. Go
He's the
enjoy your
example
life.
you look at. And people's like, you work hard in this country, you can do well.
Absolutely. My dad is absolutely an example of the American dream working.
Yep. Yeah. When people say, do you believe it? Absolutely. And you point at people like that and say,
absolutely.
That's the reason why. If you work hard, if you do your thing and bust your hump, you'll succeed.
Absolutely. So the Generals Cup. And then, of course, another thing that's coming up, and it's in November, is the Go Bond for the college.
Okay.
The college is on the Go Bond again this year, and if they get their money, they're asking for $2.475 million. So just round it up to $2.5 million.
Okay.
And that's going to help improve the fire suppression systems for the Arts and Science Center, the Occupational Technology Center, and the Physical Education Center.
Okay.
Because they do programs for some of the younger kids.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny how the state works. If you have big kids in your building, you don't need fire suppression. But if you have little kids in your building, you need fire suppression.
I guess if big kids can run faster, I don't know.
We had this
Is
talk
that the
yesterday.
logic?
I would think little kids would run faster.
You'd
but
think.
That's just me.
Their legs are longer. Maybe they can make more in the stride. I don't know.
So that's what the Go Bond is.
Okay.
And so we'll have that information. Of course, all of this information is on our brand new redesigned website, roswellnm.org.
It's more efficient, streamlined, and
Absolutely.
chock full of more
it is
stuff.
so easy for us to keep it updated. And you can go into the tab that says Roswell's happenings or what's happening in Roswell, and you'll see all of this stuff as I get flyers from different organizations. That's where we'll stick that up. And of course, if you go under the events tab, we have a cool little calendar that we put everything that's going on. For example, I have populated all of the city council meetings, county commission meetings, school board meetings, all of the different committee meetings.
So really is what's all community-wide.
Absolutely. Anything.
For many people.
I peruse the newspapers, and you know how the newspaper a couple different times a week, depending on what the subject matter is, will have their calendar of events. I go through and I'm really trying to make sure everything's getting on to our calendar. So if you are an organization that's got stuff going on, if you will contact us at the chamber, we will be more than happy to put that on our calendars.
Yeah. And also use this as a tool, because I know we have a lot of civic organizations and a lot of them do events and things. And I know when it comes to creating events, a lot of times you look at calendars like, who else is doing something that weekend? All right, we need to make sure so we don't overburden and start cutting into each other. So use that calendar as a source. Like, hey, we want to plan an event in, say, November. Let's go look at the November calendar, see what's on there right now. Is there a lot there? Okay, then there is. Maybe we need to rethink our date. Or no, it looks pretty wide open. Maybe this is a good date.
And that's kind of what my thought process is that I want everybody to go to our website kind of as the catch-all, and we're trying to provide links. So, for example, if you go and you want to go and get your meal for the Heritage Dinner, you find the flyer, you can click on the flyer, and it will automatically take you to the reservations page.
So it's a calendar with teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the same on the calendar. If you don't go under the What's Happenings tab, if you just go to the calendar, once again, click on the event, and if I've got a website or if, you know, that particular organization has a link, you can click on the link and it'll take you to whatever you need to see. So we're trying to be that liaison, that catch-all, go through, pass through, whatever you want to call it, for all of these other organizations, because I had a really nice long talk with Guy Malone, and I love what he's doing. He's got this really cool little business card about all the things that are in Roswell, because he got sick and tired of hearing people go, oh, Roswell's so boring, there's nothing going on. And he said, he went and looked at 3 different places, for example, when he first started, and he goes, there was so much to do. There's no way one person can do everything. And so now it has grown to one side is all of the events. You know, he's got a little QR code and a website, and he goes through, kind of does the same thing. Here's every event going on that he can find. And then on the other side, it's all of our local hotels and local restaurants.
Wow.
So now you can go enjoy yourself with all of these events and then go find a place to eat, either before or after. If it's something that, you know, you want to bring friends and family from out of town, now we can show you where our local hotels are.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, great. It's great to see that, he's doing that. And then by default, we're saying, hey, well, let's take that model and
absolutely. And that's exactly Guy and I. In fact, I've been looking at his card and trying to transfer that stuff to our calendar as well. And it's amazing how quickly our calendars are starting to load up.
So bookmark and put in your favorites bar there or whatever, the Chamber of Commerce website.
Absolutely.
And that way, and use it as a thing to check on. And when you're looking for maybe Fridays, if you don't get our email, or even if you do, go to the website and go look beyond what's in that email too, that weekly email for events coming up and things.
Because the email is for our members only. So of course, if you're getting our member email every Friday, then the things that are in that email are provided by our members for our members. Whereas, for example, our community calendar is everything.
Yeah, for the entire
community.
There
will be some differences between, and of course, if I make mistakes from time to time. So if I have something on the wrong date, please contact me, tell me, because I try to take about an hour to an hour and a half every day to just go through and keep that website updated, and it has been a learning curve because it's brand new and
Sure.
there's certain things. For example, trying to figure out the links, how to attach the links to the flyers. It looked like it was pretty easy, but it wasn't working, and I was actually pretty frustrated. You should have come into the office the other day because there were a lot of not nice words. I'm like, but I have it there. And finally, as soon as I figured out how it worked, now it's easy.
Nice.
Once you figure it out,
Right.
it's super easy to put all of the links on there. And when you click on it, the satisfaction when it works and it actually goes where it's supposed to was really, and it's just so exciting.
Cool.
You can ask Kyle and Liz. I'm like, I did it. Oh my gosh, our website. And we're getting great feedback. We're getting emails from all kinds of people that are checking out our website from all over the country. Hey,
Nice.
I'm going to be here for Jazz Fest. I need some information on where to stay, where to eat. I'm a local business owner. I'm just starting. How do I do this?
Yeah.
You can sign up to be a member on our website,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's all seamless.
Okay.
You can actually go on, look at all of our pricing for the different levels for membership, sign up and pay online immediately. And Kyle and Liz get the email and process everything and contact you.
Nice.
So come in person. We always love people coming in person and chatting. But if you're out of town or you just don't think that you can get to the office.
Or you like doing everything technically.
That's right. You can get online, and it's really cool to see how it's all starting to come together after 2 years of hard work.
Absolutely. And I know that's something that, since you've, taken over as a director at the chamber, is doing that where how do we kind of take the best of both worlds and use technology with some of the old school methods and say, how do we do that to make our members have more access to things, more ease of access, benefits of things, and creating and allowing the chamber to do more. And this is kind of that way to start doing some of that.
I am all about work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And obviously COVID kind of made everybody rethink how they do the business world, including the Chamber of Commerce. And so a lot of this you're seeing saying, this is stuff that, when we get in a world where we can't see each other, we've got options to do all that. So.
And like I said, we're always looking for more information. More information is always better than less information. So send it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go while you're goofing around on your computer this morning, go head on over to the chamber.
Check it out.
And start take a dive through. And
pretty clean. It looks good. We're gonna, we'll start uploading, for example, all of our pictures from our Red Coats events when we're doing ribbon cuttings and grand openings and meet and greets and stuff. So that way the community can see who our Red Coats are and what we do. We do have a page all about the Red Coats, and we'll start populating all of that kind of stuff.
Good deal.
As I learn, I got to learn one thing at a time. So as we do that, and of course, before I forget, our deadline to submit ads and or ideas for the next issue of the magazine is coming up. So contact us. We're already starting to get, our yearly members to start sending their stuff. So
nice.
Send us your stuff. Our Joyriders, today's Wednesday. They should be back today after taking the summer off.
Okay.
And we'll start lining out what articles to get done. And once again, we're always looking for
They're
content.
going to joyride for us again.
That's right. They are fantastic. In fact, I got a couple of phone calls yesterday about ideas for the magazine.
Yeah.
I've gotten some really cool cards in the mail from legislators and community members that have said, oh my gosh, I have lived in this community all of my life and I didn't know. Or, that article on this or that was really informative.
Yeah.
And I know that person personally and still didn't know some of this stuff.
The layers you thought you knew you didn't know sometimes. Yeah, that's great. So So, please inquire in the chamber if you have any questions. Of course, if you want to get an ad in there, there's still opportunities.
There's always opportunity.
Do it here pretty quick this week so we can get that in. And again, check out the new new and improved Roswell Chamber website.
That's updated with real information.
That's right.
That works
In real time and accurate. And it's like we didn't find out what we're doing 3 years ago or whatever. It was the last time.
Oh, yeah. That was looking at that old website for the last 2 years and not being able to keep it updated in a timely and efficient manner was driving me
frustrating.
Crazy.
It's like, because if a website's great, but if you can't update it or change it or keep it relevant, then it's a paperweight. Yeah. It's useless. So
and now it's all drag and drop. I mean, it truly is very simple. I can just open up my file full of flyers, for example, and I drag and drop, and it just goes where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great to see it. So check it out today. It's Roswell
RoswellNM.org.
City has the dash. I always get the city and the chamber one because they're very close.
Well, and we'll
and it's
have
.gov.org. But
and of course, with the new website, we will be contacting our members for our member page, because each member of the chamber has their own page or ability to have their own page on our website.
Okay.
And they can access all of the things that they need to do, pay their invoices, create events, but they can also have like their own web page on our site. Nice. And they can make it as cool as they want it, or something as simple as, I already have my own website. I'm just going to put a link. So when you look up, ABC Automotive, you click on ABC Automotive. If you're looking for somebody on the chamber site, click on their link and it'll automatically take you to their stuff.
Excellent.
And we'll start trainings. We're going to start having trainings on that, so that way our members know how it works.
Good deal.
So we're excited.
Yeah, because that's helpful if you know how to actually work it.
It's wonderful to have it, but if you don't know how it works, it doesn't do you any good.
It's like, I got access to this, but I don't have a degree on working that thing. So.
And so Liz and Growth Zone Chamber Master has been showing us how it all works.
Good.
And it's pretty easy. Once you get in there, it's as anything. You got to just get in there and mess around with it, and it works.
Yeah, anytime, and I'm one of those people that you can explain to me all day. I'll catch like a portion of what you said. You got to sit me in front of it, and I got to get my hands dirty and do it.
Exactly. That's the best way for me to work. In fact, when we had training on the new website, the guy was like, well, I don't know what to tell you, because, and I was like, well, I don't know. I don't even know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
Because I said, just give me the basics. Like, I need basics. How do I log in? How do I make basic changes?
Sure. How do I access everything and let me start?
Yeah. So we did 15 minutes, and he goes, and I was like, okay, perfect. That's all I need. He goes, the best way to learn, just get in there. He goes, I promise you're not screwing it up. He goes, unless you push this button. And I was like, okay, well, what if I do push that button? He goes, well, I'm IT. That's my job. He goes, we can fix anything. And I was like, okay.
He seems nice for an IT guy. Usually the IT people are a little squirrely.
Well, he is squirrely, but everything's fixable. Like I'm not going to be able to screw it up too bad.
Right. Yeah.
Because he'll unscrew it up.
I'd like to see how nice he is when you do screw something up.
Well,
you're about to find out.
I can take it. It wouldn't be the first
time. Very good. Well, we're about out of time.
All right.
But if anybody, like I said, have any questions, check out the website. And of course, if the chamber's pretty active on Facebook and Instagram as well too. So if you use those two platforms, like and follow the chamber on those, and of course, and then you'll find, I'm sure at the website, the social medias we're on and what we follow and all that
and
stuff
you can always call us 575-623-5695. Or come visit us at 131 West 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you come through during the day and the door's locked, ring the bell.
Yes, please ring the doorbell.
When there's just one person there, they generally leave the door locked for safety and security. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my office is in the back, so I keep it locked so that way, I know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to know what's going on.
Well, thank you, ma'am. appreciate the visit and listening to the bad jokes and everything earlier. So
that's all right. I have kids.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
All right. It is 7:54 news and a quick break before